Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to the NFL Sunday Morning Show, the off-season edition. I'm here with James from Steelers by the Lake podcast. Make sure you subscribe to that. They're so close to 100. I believe they're 7 away. How you doing, man? How you doing?
Doing good this morning. Good. Ready to talk free agency and transactions and QB carousel. And there's so much going on. It's the team building time of year is just one of my favorite time of year.
Yeah, me too. Like I said last week, it's me with basketball. Like that whole draft process where actually the March Madness selection starts tonight. So I'm more excited for that. So let's just get started. The biggest thing right now is Aaron Rodgers. We were talking about that before the show went live. So honestly, I've been going back and forth between the Giants and the Vikings. I haven't really gone to your Steelers at all. I really haven't because you guys just got Mason Rudolph and you got other weapons. But I feel like he's going to go to the Vikings and follow Brett Favre's footsteps. That's how I feel.
I think you're really onto it. If I'm Aaron Rodgers, that's exactly what I would do. And it has a lot to do with what's the team look like, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Minnesota was excellent last year. It's got the best wide receiver core of those three options,
Mhm.
with Pittsburgh being the second best option. But why in the world would you want to go anywhere other than there with what they've got on offense? You could just walk right in to a team that won 14 games last year, and all the weapons are still in place. Like if I'm Aaron, it's a no brainer. That's exactly where I would go. That just stinks for your boy because he might sit on the bench a little longer before he gets a chance to start.
Yeah, JJ McCarthy. I'm just tired of Michigan players just getting like either injured, pushed to the side, and just like, not your time yet, bud. I'm like, what does he have to do to get some playing time? But for me, honestly, if he goes to the Vikings, that would be hilarious because, the Brett Favre started out with Green Bay, New York, Minnesota. That's what everyone is waiting for. Everyone is waiting for to just laugh and just get it all out. Like, he's following Brett Favre now. I wonder what else is next. But serious note, the Vikings had a very good offseason. Like, they got big time players. They actually got Hargrave for the defensive line. He's a former
Yeah,
Eagle. He went to the 49ers to play next to Bosa for like 1 year. Now the Vikings are going all in. Now, is Aaron Rodgers the answer to that? Probably not. Probably not. I feel like they're better off with McCarthy. And then we got to talk about Russell Wilson later where he falls. But the Giants for Aaron Rodgers, it makes no sense to me. It would make more
yeah.
sense if Devontae Adams went there. Now, if Adams went there with neighbors on the other side, and you got Rodgers there, okay, you're getting a little something. But it's just like, what do the Giants have to offer Aaron Rodgers right now?
It's a great question. It's a mess. If
Yeah,
you want to be like the complete focal point of everything that they have going on, then go ahead, go to the Giants. That's the only place where you're going to be the only story. So if he's just worried about drama and everything being all about him, then absolutely the Giants is where you should go. So yeah, I don't understand why that would even be an option for him unless they're just offering way more money than the other two teams are. And I think one thing that this offseason has taught Steelers fans and other fans is that they're just lowballing everybody. And that's why they missed out on all these guys. I mean, the rumors are they put an offer in on Darnold, they put an offer in on Fields, they put an offer in on Rodgers, and nobody's taking them. And you don't turn down the best offers; you turn down the worst ones. So,
yeah, it's honestly insane. And believe me, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Is this the first time Aaron Rodgers is actually a free agent? Is this the first time? Because I've been hearing that, like, huh? How? I
I don't
don't
know.
think
Was it a trade to New York? Is that how he got there? Was a trade?
I have no clue. I'm trying to remember now.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I don't remember specifics on it to be honest with you.
I
Um,
don't either, and that's why
I
I'm
can't
like,
imagine they gave up much for him if they did.
like, but if he goes to the Giants, it's just like, okay, you want to stay in New York? You're just going to the other side. You're just going to the bigger brother. I'm
Yeah.
guessing, or the younger brother at this point. I don't even know. Maybe they're twins. Don't know. But I'm just saying, Aaron Rodgers got to make a move. If once that move goes, and it's just like, okay, a whole weight has been lifted off our shoulders. Now we can just
Yeah.
relax and just see who goes next. And then that actually goes right into my next one with Russell Wilson. If Aaron Rodgers goes there, I feel like he's going to stay with your Steelers. Do you think that's accurate?
I think that that's what Pittsburgh would like, but at this point, it's like it's like you're single and you have four dating options, right?
Yeah.
And you try to date this girl and she says no. You go to your plan B and she says no. You go to your plan C and she says no. All along, plan D knows that you kind of are interested in dating, but no, let me try these hotter girls first, right? It's just a bad look. And Russ knows at this point that he's the ugly girl in the room.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Pretty
that's a
much.
problem. That's a problem. And you can't just be like, oh, Russ, yeah, we really wanted to date you this whole time. Because no one believes it, including Russ. He fully understands that he's the last resort of startable quarterbacks. Because after Russ, then you start talking Jameis Winston, you start talking Joe Flacco, guys that have been backups for years now at other locations, possibly looking at them as a starting option. And that's scary. So I think Pittsburgh put themselves in an awful position here where who was originally explained to be plan B turns out to be plan D, and he might tell you to get the heck out of here at this point.
So yeah, Vic comes in and he goes, "Yep, he was traded in 2023 to the Jets."
Okay.
Okay, so it is his first time he's a free agent.
Wow.
So I'm like, damn, they're really pulling out all the cards here for this. What is up, normal guy? How's that going? And then Vic comes back and says, Russ is going to the Browns to take Pickett's job.
Would Kenny demand a trade again?
I don't know. Hey,
Because that's what happened last time.
Russ and Pickett have something in common. They're both Super Bowl champions.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I got to throw that in there now. I got to throw that in. Whenever someone talks about Kenny Pickett or Kenny Gainwell, who you got Kenny Gainwell actually, so I'm like, hey, he's a Super Bowl champion. But let's talk about that. How do you feel about Gainwell going to your Steelers?
Oh, I like it, man. I like it. I think he's going to be a great number 2 option for us behind Jaylen Warren. More importantly, this relieves Jaylen Warren of his kick return duties. Because if you're going to be the starting running back, you don't want him back there returning kicks too. So that's big in my book. Also, it gives them the opportunity to cut Cordarrelle Patterson, who was probably the worst kick return man in the league last year. And more alarming than that is that they insisted on involving him in the offense. On his kick returns, you saw him just kind of like jogging out of the end zone with the ball. It was embarrassing. You get a very, very low effort from a guy whose best years athletically are very clearly behind him. So Kenneth Gainwell being added to the mix is very, very important in my book. And on a minimal deal, it wasn't even $2 million. I think it was like 1.79. So it doesn't affect your compensatory formula. Gives you a quality backup. I'm in on it. I think it's a good move, but Pittsburgh probably will still address the running back position in the draft.
Yeah, but here's the bright side about Kenny Gainwell. He was actually one of the most hated guys on the Eagles roster because no one really liked him. He wasn't that good. But the blocking, no, it's the I don't want to get into that because he gets like 5 yards or whatever. But his blocking ability is really good. He's like one of the best running back blockers in the league. That's why we had him when Saquon Barkley was still here, because Saquon Barkley, no matter how great he is, he's not the best blocker. So it was just like glad we got Gainwell for that aspect. And then now we got A.J. Dillon to replace him. And I'm like, the biggest quad. We got like the biggest quads. We got Hurts, Barkley, and Dillon. But with A.J. Dillon, man, he's coming off of not playing football at all, with a pinched nerve in his neck, missing an entire year. Now he's coming back, and I'm like, okay, he was off all year, but we do have the best offensive line. We do have Barkley. He doesn't have to do anything as much, and then we got Will Shipley, who was still there. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, good fit, but I'm still kind of nervous. You see what I'm getting at with AJ Dillon right now?
Absolutely, that's scary. Neck injuries are scary. I mean, how many guys have ended their careers like Andrew Luck? He had a promising career going on, retired early with a neck injury. It ended Peyton Manning's career with a neck injury so bad he could barely throw the ball anymore. So necks are a scary thing to deal with. You've got to think that he's feeling a lot better if he's willing to come back and try again.
Yeah.
What I like about this for you guys is your tush push is already the most dangerous weapon in the NFL, the most unstoppable thing. If you had another guy in the backfield that big pushing the pile, are you kidding me? So you're gonna have Saquon and Corey and Dylan back there pushing the pile? That just got even better. That's that's kind of crazy, but yeah, an unstoppable weapon just got more unstoppable. So I think if nothing else, it adds to the dangerousness of the tush push for you guys.
Yeah. But here's the funniest thing. The Packers were trying to get the tush push banned, so that's one. Two,
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley was on Jimmy Fallon. They were talking about the tush push, and Saquon was like, I have the best job. I got to push the tush, and that's it. That's all he had to say. Jalen Hurts gave him a look. He was like, really? Yeah, that was great. I can't stop watching that. But
That's
yeah,
funny. That's just funny stuff, man.
yeah. So back to my Eagles real quick. So the Eagles got the cornerback Adoree Jackson. We got a couple other players via trades. We traded away Gardner Johnson. Actually, we let go Slay to you guys. So I'm just like the Eagles are going all in, but it just like makes me a little bit nervous to an extent. We let go all these guys, but Howie Rogan has a plan, I feel like. And so, yeah, tell me about how you feel about the Eagles, then we'll go back to your Steelers and all
I
those
got
others.
some questions for you about the Eagles. First off, you lose
Hit me.
Mekhi Becton, right? So he was
Uh-huh.
playing right guard for you. What's the plan? Did you have a guy waiting in wings? Do you need to draft someone? Did you pick somebody up in free agency?
So we have Tyler Steen there.
Okay.
So the
Oh, I
Eagles,
liked him out of
yeah,
Alabama.
yep. So the Eagles are 4-0 with Tyler Steen, and we traded for a guy with the last name Green. I forget his first name.
Oh,
He was out
Kenyon, wasn't it?
Kenyon Green. Thank you.
Jeez, oh
He
yeah,
was
you're fine.
Houston. Yeah, we traded Gardner Johnson and some picks, and then we got Kenyon Green back. So there's another offensive lineman. He's not exactly one of the best out there, but we got Jeff Stoutland. So then it's just like, okay, we are set. We are good. I'm not nervous at all. Gardner Johnson was traded because if it's off the field antics, did you know he was on 5 different teams in the last 5 years?
What a mess.
So I was just like, okay, there's times where he's great on the field, but it's off the field stuff where it's just like, okay, you gotta go, we gotta go someplace else, and that's what happened. So yeah, we got Kenyon Green there and Tyler Steen.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. I was a big fan of Tyler Steen in the pre-draft process when he came out as a rookie. I really liked his tape,
Yeah,
measurables, everything looked good to me on Tyler Steen. So I like that for you guys.
I
On
love
the
it.
defensive line, you lost a couple pass rushers there in Sweat and Milton Williams. Did you
Yeah.
have guys waiting in the wings there too, or is this
So for
something you think they're going to address in the draft?
So for Millen Williams, yes, that was a blow, a big blow. I can't be mad at him because he took the
No.
money. He
Yeah.
took the money to go to Patriots. A lot of people saying he got overpaid, which I'm like, he's a Super Bowl champion. What? Who cares about you're overpaid or not? Who cares? You're a champion. Like throw that out of the water, in my opinion. But yeah, Millen Williams is gone. Josh Sweat is gone to the Cardinals. So we got the Chiefs guy. I'm forgetting his name right now. I need to look him up. But he averaged 20 and a half sacks throughout his entire career as an edge. He's actually really a
Ooh.
young guy. I love this. I'm trying to figure out his name. Oh, got it right here. Uh, Let me scroll down. Oh, Joshua Uche. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. We got him from the Chiefs. We got a 1-year deal out of him. So yeah, we got a replacement there. So we may have to draft another defensive lineman and all this stuff, just to pile on the depth. And then Darius Slay, yeah, he is gone. We got Adoree Jackson there. So let's
That's
talk about
huge. Yeah.
Slay. Let's talk about Slay for you guys. How do you feel about that? We just
I mean,
have
for
a
us,
lot of players going back and forth.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. There's a lot of
hill players.
parallels going on here, man, and I really like it.
Yeah,
To be like the history of what Pittsburgh's been trying to do with the corner position, it's been an issue. They tried in
yeah,
the draft over and over with Artie Burns and a bunch of other guys, and they just kept on missing in the draft, right?
yeah,
So finally, it looks like they hit on one with Joey Porter Jr., but corner number 2 is a big issue. And in today's league, you better have 3 corners that can cover because everybody loves going with 3 wide receiver sets. So if
yeah,
you don't have 3 corners, then they're just going to target the guy that can't cover out of the 3. And last year, Pittsburgh had Dante Jackson that they traded for in the Deontay Johnson trade. He got 5 interceptions, but all of those interceptions were on overthrows and tipped passes. None of them were him jumping around. So he was getting torched on a regular basis. And the way Pittsburgh plays their defense, a lot of times they use the same method that the Patriots were using under Belichick, where they'll
yeah,
put their number 2 corner on the number 1 wide receiver and double him, and then allow their number 1 guy, Joey Porter Jr., to lock down the number 2 wide receiver so he's not really an option. Um, that doesn't work when your number 2 corner is so bad that the safety basically has to do all the work. And then it takes Micah Fitzpatrick out of things, and he doesn't get any turnovers because he's too busy babysitting the number 2 corner. So that's the big thing for me is that having a quality corner like Darius Slay, even if we only get 1 year out of him, it's just a 1 year deal, so that's kind of what I expect. It allows Minka to be Minka again. It allows Deshaun Elliott to roam the field again. They don't have to be constantly paranoid about what's going on at the number 2 corner position. They can go ahead and go out there and be playmakers and ball seekers and go out there and get the turnovers. So I think the Slay is a big move. He talked in his interview about how excited he is to mentor Joey Porter Jr. If his mentorship had anything to do with how good your rookies played last year at that position, then I want him as a teacher.
yeah,
So, because those guys really were incredible last year for you guys. Now, a lot of that is drafting well, obviously,
yeah.
but the game wasn't too big for them. They must have had some good coaching going on there in addition to them being such good players. So I think that's important for Pittsburgh. In the last few years, they hit when they did this with Joe Hayden. They missed with Levi Wallace. They missed with Patrick Peterson. So time for another hit. And if it is another hit, it's going to allow this defense to really unleash what they can do with creating turnovers.
So you also signed Brandon Echols?
Yeah, he's going to be competing for corner 3 nickel. He can also play some outside. He's only 27, and I think this is a smaller deal. I haven't seen the money on it yet, but I'm just kind of assuming they didn't give him a lot of money. But I like it as far as competing with Beanie Bishop and kind of rounding out that group. Corey Trice really showed some promise for Pittsburgh last year, but he's hurt all the time. He's 2 years into his career. He missed his entire rookie season with a knee injury, and then last year he missed like half of the year with an injury. So you can't really depend on him to be the number 2 or even number 3 guy. Seems like Eccles has some good flexibility to play inside and outside, and he's probably going to be needed to do so.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, injuries suck. They can derail your whole career. And that's where we're kind of at with Dallas Goedert in a way now because he's been kind of injury prone. He's on the trading block, actually. So it's just like the Eagles are trying to get rid of there. But at the end of the day, injuries suck. Like they derail your whole career no matter what sport. No matter what sport, injuries kill. So I don't want anyone to get hurt. Nobody does. So I'm just like, all right. So
that was the story for your Eagles for a few years there at the QB position with Wentz and Jalen Hurts. It was just like every year one of the 2 guys was going down. And I feel like that was the whole reason they went to Hurts in the first place. Wentz wasn't a bad quarterback. He was hurt all the time.
He was just hurt, and it was his mind game. It was just like it didn't really. He didn't have to mind for Philadelphia, which is like that is true. That is true. Look at I can go on and on, especially like Ben Simmons and that whole debacle. But
Yeah.
yeah, I can definitely understand that. Definitely it's crazy. But one of the biggest moves in the offseason, I wish Bo was here, Cooper Cup. Cooper Cup going to Seattle. That was huge. Tell me about Cooper Cup. What do you think of that?
I
It was
mean,
a
he's a
3 year,
solid.
25 mil.
Yeah, what 15 million a year? I think that's a great signing without overpaying.
Yeah,
Obviously, there's a lot of thoughts of him being on the downward side of his career, but what a valuable piece as far as a route runner, the ability to catch the ball and get a little bit after catch too. Just a real solid guy. It was only a few years ago he was a Triple Crown winner in the NFL.
yeah,
So I think when you're trying to rebuild a franchise and build around young guys, it's incredibly important to have good mentors in place. And I think at the very worst, he should be an incredible mentor to the wide receiver room as they try to reload and retool with young guys. You got to have a few leaders in place at key positions, and wide receiver is one of them, especially when you have so many teams running three wide receiver sets all the time. Good morning, Wes. So
and
I think
that's
this is a great move for them, honestly.
I love it. I love it because they got rid of Geno Smith. They got Sam Darnold too. It's just like
Yeah.
you got Darnold and Cup. I thought that would be a duo you would never see. I never thought in a million years you would get Sam Darnold and Cooper Cup. But back to the Cooper Cup, you wanted him for your Steelers when we
I
were
did.
talking about this a few weeks ago, and
Yeah.
I'm like, he's one of the best wide receivers. Obviously, he's not the top notch where he was due to injuries. So he's a good. Who else did Seattle have for their? I know they got someone else. They let go of
Was it
Lockett as well.
was it Jackson Smith and Jigba? Is that who they have? I feel like they have one of those Ohio State wide receivers.
I think so too. I'm actually looking it up right now. I'm on their ESPN depth chart. So
There we
it's
go.
like, yep, Jigba. They got Cooper Cup and Stanley. I forgot about Stanley. Marquez
Yeah.
Valdez Stanley. I forgot about that. And they also have Jake Bobo, Cody White. Yeah.
Yeah.
So their
They'll be
top.
all right.
My God, their offense is really underrated. Kenneth Walker the third, and you
He's
also got
tough.
Noah Fant the tight end, and then
Hmm.
Kaepernick their backup running back. Man, they have Sam. Wait, they have another Sam? They have two Sams. Oh God. Oh
They're being a
God.
little greedy with the Sams. They're gonna save some Sams for the rest of us.
Sam Darnold and Sam Howell. I'm like, yeah, but yeah, shout out to Seattle. They've been going all in. It was or rebuilding as of late. Seattle's been making moves. 49ers have been like nobody knows what's going on with them. Brandon Ayuk, I think he might be traded. You agree? Ayuk?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it happens at this point because it seems like they're just trying to clear as much cap space as they possibly can to give the bag to Brock Purdy. And Purdy's good. I don't know if you give them the entire bag like that. They're kind of in a tough situation, right? Because you can't not pay him. He is your quarterback of the future, but he doesn't look to me like a guy that should be getting paid that elite money, that 50 to 60 million a year kind of dude.
Yeah.
But good luck telling him that, right?
Uh-huh.
I would assume that his agent is probably telling him that that's what he should expect money wise. So they're clearing cap space and they're shipping out talent. And what's going to be left by the time they're done with it? I don't know, man. It's tough. Like they lost Hufanga, that was a huge loss. You traded away Debo Samuel. You might lose Ayuk. Like, what is going on there?
The 49ers, I guess they're going a different route. I would not trust Brock Purdy at all. Like I wouldn't at all. They need another quarterback in that spot. But back to the offseason right here. I'm looking at all these moves right now on ESPN.
Luke
Uh
Farrell, what are they doing? Why do they give Luke Farrell $7 million a year?
who
He's like a number three tight end, and he's going to be getting $7 million a year as their number two. Like that blows my mind that that's the move. That's one of the guys that you're going to pay out of all this group.
Right. I don't know, but actually, this guy's on the thumbnail. I really want to talk about him. Joey Bosa to the Bills after they let go of Von Miller. Let's talk about Joey Bosa. How do you feel about that?
I mean, Joey's a talented guy, right? He's
Yep.
been a very good pass rusher since he came into the league. He will remain that. He is one of those dudes that creates a little bit of a dust up off the field sometimes. You always see videos of him, cursing out fans and getting in political arguments with people and kind of doing some of the off the field stuff that you don't want your guys to do. But on the field, he's a very talented player. And if you're looking to continue forward, get younger, and still have a good quality pass rusher, he fits the bill on what you're looking for. I mean, Von Miller's like 34 or 35 or something by now. He's up
Yeah.
there. So you probably got a good 7 years younger by going Joey Bosa route. So I think it's a good move. And they didn't have to give him too much either, did they? Wasn't it a semi-cheap contract?
It was a really cheap contract. After they let go of Von Miller, it's just like, hey, come here. We'll take you for, what was it, a year or two? 2 years? Something like that?
I'm chasing it right now. I should have it in a second here.
Yeah, I'll look here. I'm on it.
Yeah, 1 year for $12.6 million. So that's not bad at all. I think that's a really good value.
Yeah, I really, really like that, but the Bills are a joke. So it's just like you're building all this and they fall flat. They overpaid Josh Allen, in my opinion. I mean, the Vikings are going, not the Vikings, the Bills are going all in, and I'm just like, that was the best move, in my opinion. The Josh Allen move will always get me question. He's an MVP, but I'm just like, what has he done to earn that? I don't think
in a line of other bad moves, they shortly after Pittsburgh cuts Larry Ogunjobi, they give him more money than what Pittsburgh was paying him. Pittsburgh cut him because he was a horrible run defender. And I'm talking to my buddy Austin at work, and we've had a joke going on around about Larry Ogunjobi for years because I've been asking for Pittsburgh to cut him for years. And he's always jokingly telling me, "Oh, Larry's great. He's one of your best players." The Bills signed him, and I was like, "Yeah, you got him." And then 2 days later, he gets hit with a 6-game suspension for PEDs.
Right.
He gave him $8.3 million, and they're not even going to have him for more than 9 games on the year. Like that's incredible. Just a horrible move. If you're planning to improve your run defense, is a guy who rated out at a 50 on the rating from PFF for his run defense, and that's out of 100. That's a really horrible score. The guy's bad against the run, and in 3 years in Pittsburgh had 6 sacks total, and he was the starter the whole time.
6 sacks. Oh, wow.
6 sacks. He was the problem with why Pittsburgh was not getting to the quarterback more, because you didn't have to double team that position. So they were able to double everybody else. All you had to do was keep an extra tight end in, and you could double both edge guys and Cam Hayward and just leave one person on Larry Ogunjobi, and you knew you were fine. So that's why the sack production went down so much in Pittsburgh, because Larry Ogunjobi couldn't beat a one-on-one all year long.
Yeah. Huh. Crazy offseason we're in, man. A crazy, crazy offseason. And I actually just found out on the ESPN. I'm going to share my screen right now. The top 5. Hey, David, how's it going, man? Appreciate you stopping by. Hit that like. Make sure you guys subscribe to Steelers by the Lake podcast. I'll drop the link in the chat in a little bit. But let's just go right here. I just found that. Here are top 5 biggest names in free agency right now. You got Cam Robinson, Rasul Douglas, Stephon Diggs, Amari Cooper, and Asante Samuel Jr. I remember when the Eagles had his father. Mike. Yeah, but yeah, I don't think Amari Cooper and Stephon Diggs, man. I don't know where Stephon Diggs goes. Where do you think he'll go?
I think of these 5 guys, you've got 4 guys who can still contribute to a team. And Cam Robinson, if you're starting him as a starting offensive tackle, you're in trouble, man. I would not do that at all. He is not good anymore. I don't know if he was ever really all that good, to be honest with you. But Diggs and Cooper, I don't know who still needs the wide receiver. I feel like everybody's made their moves at this point, and I don't think there's too many teams that still need a starting wide receiver. So They
Yeah.
might have to settle for lesser money or wait until maybe after the preseason starts. Maybe somebody loses a starter and they're willing to pay a little bit more for one of these guys. But I don't see either one of them getting paid right now. The corners, on the other hand, I could see those guys still getting paid because there's definitely teams that need corners still.
Yeah. A lot of teams need that. Hold on, I'm just typing the link right now. Not Diggs.
Yeah, Diggs and Cooper, though, both quality dudes. I feel like they're past their prime as far as being better athletes on the field. But
Yeah.
both are technicians, very solid route runners, very good hands. So you could do a lot worse than getting either one of those guys.
Yeah. Definitely. How could. Oh my god. Yeah, here's the Mekhi Becton move. Not. I was really shocked. I thought he was going to stay in Philly. A lot of my friends who were saying, like, Mitch, it's all about the money, but the loyalty's out the window. The loyalty's out the window with a lot of these guys. You need to get the money to support your family. I get that. But
Yeah.
where are the Chargers going to go from here? Where are they going to go from here? What? You still got Herbert and stuff? I mean, the Patriots are not going anywhere. So it's just like, oh, not the Rams. Oh,
And I
wow.
feel like if you're in the division with the Chiefs until Mahomes retires, you can't really expect to be better than second place in that division.
Right.
Now, that doesn't mean you just give up every year. You still have to try to make moves. You still have to try to win. But I feel like they're in the same situation that the whole AFC East was in during the Tom Brady years, where you knew you weren't going to win the division every year. Your best hope was to get into the playoffs and somebody else knock them off.
Yeah. So the last question, and then we're going to head out here. Who do you think won free agency? Who do you think lost?
Um, I think
Yep. Happy Stone Cold Day. Yeah.
I like some of the moves that the Denver Broncos made, and the Bears too. The Bears made a lot of moves to fortify both lines, bringing in some offensive linemen, Joe Tooney and Jonah Jackson, to really shore up the center of that offensive line. Also, Drew Dahlman. So it's a new center and two new starting guards. That's huge for Caleb Williams and trying to buy him time to actually execute the offense. And he's a guy that likes to extend plays and kind of hang on to the ball for a little bit. So that ought to really help the Bears on offense. And then to get Grady Jarrett on defense, I thought that was a really important move for them too. So I think the Bears are winners in what they did with fortifying both line units there. But Denver, I thought, did some nice stuff too with bringing in Talanoa Hufanga, and then some of their other moves. I like the Dre Greenlaw signing too. So I think some good moves for them too.
For me, whoever did not get Aaron Rodgers wins. I'm sure that out there. Whoever did not get Aaron Rodgers wins. But on a serious note, Seattle comes to mind. 49ers is not coming to mind to me. So mostly it's just
On the
Seattle.
loser list, maybe.
Who? For 49ers? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a loser for me. They're like on the bottom list there. But I'm trying to think of. I really don't want to pick Seattle. I don't want to pick the Eagles. I'm trying to go outside the box here. So the Jacksonville Jaguars really haven't made a move, have they?
Oh, I don't know offhand, but I'll pull it up here and take a look and see what they got.
I don't even think they
Looks
made a
like
move. I know
Patrick
they let go.
McCarry. They gave him $37 million over 3 years, so he'll be a new starting guard for them.
Yeah.
Jordan Lewis, the corner, they gave $10 million a year. Robert Hainsey, so a new starting center, but nothing as far as like big name dudes. It looks like they signed a lot of medium level guys and gave them money.
Yeah, I'm still like. I said this before. I'll say it again. Trevor Lawrence is the most overrated quarterback in the league. I mean, the money's just not there. He's just not good accurate, the IQ and everything. Do you agree with me on Trevor Lawrence? I really think he's not that good.
I'll tell you, the tape the last couple of years sure agrees with you.
Yeah.
So early on in his career, he looked great, and then it just keeps on falling off and getting worse and worse, it seems. And I think that some of it is the team surrounding him not being very good. So we'll see if they are able to give him some better weapons and maybe things turn back around for him. But I think it's very difficult to argue with your opinion based off of how he's played the last couple of years here. He's just putting up bad numbers. Good quarterbacks can carry a mediocre to a bad team, and he's not doing it right now. I think there's plenty of teams that if he were to move to that team, he'd probably look a lot better than what he looks there. But I just don't see it right now with him. And if he doesn't turn it around, that money that they gave him is going to look like one of the worst deals in the NFL besides the Deshaun Watson deal.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't a fan of Boca. There goes my joke I was gonna do. Trevor Lawrence. Did you ever see the movie Draft Day?
Yes, I love it.
He's Bo Callahan. Trevor Lawrence is Bo Callahan. So,
Nobody came to his birthday party.
You know what's funny? I had a pancake this morning, and it's remember the last line of Draft Day? Eat your pancake. I'm not gonna say the line, but you remember that? And I'm
Mother,
like, yeah. That's my dad's favorite line of the whole movie. But yeah, so yeah, basically, I think we're in agreement. Who's the biggest loser? Who is the biggest loser? You think in the off season? Right
Oh
now?
man, sometimes it's as simple as making bad moves that aren't even free agency related.
Yeah,
So I think even the Cleveland Browns giving so much money to Myles Garrett, where they handcuff themselves to not be able to do anything else, that has to be on a list of a loser for me. But the fire sales going on in San Francisco and Seattle, that's tough, man. I don't know how you can move forward with doing stuff like that.
yeah. And Vic says that movie is not realistic. The Browns would not trade like that. That's the best thing. They got rid of their first round picks, and then they get them back. It's just like, hey, I'll take it. They got the first round pick back.
He's right, though. The Browns would have just taken Bo Callahan, and then he would have failed as a quarterback, and then they would have had to do it again 2 years later.
I mean,
That's the history of the Browns.
here's the funniest thing, right? Whenever I hear Vontae Mack, I think of Von Miller. Every time. Every time. And I'm like, I said that to my friend a couple days ago. I was like, how do you think the Bills are feeling without Vontae Mack? He's like, huh? I'm like, yeah, Vontae Mack. He's on the Bills, right? He's like, you mean
Yeah.
Von Miller? I'm like, oh. I'm like, yeah. But whoever wins is not who doesn't get Aaron Rodgers. Whoever loses gets Aaron Rodgers. That's pretty much it for me. Whoever does not get Aaron Rodgers. So yeah, guys. So James, let the people know where they can find you, man. I already put the link in the chat here.
Steelers by the Lake on YouTube, on Apple Podcast, TikTok. It's the same handle everywhere. Feel free to follow us, and we'd love to hear any insight or opinions you've got. We're very, very much so interactive with involving fan ideas and mock drafts and that sort of thing. Lots of mock drafts this time of year for us.
So let me ask you, how's it going on the audio side, Spotify and all that?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gearing more towards YouTube nowadays. YouTube and even our TikTok's growing pretty well these days as well. So
nice.
Audio listeners, I feel like it's kind of going. More of them are just starting to watch on YouTube instead.
Hey, yeah. I was actually when I was out to dinner with a friend, we were talking about WIP and all this stuff, how it's dying, and I'm like, dude, it's the internet that's taking over. It's the audio platforms that's taking over. Whenever I need like specific news, like let's say about your Steelers, I know where to go, right? I don't need to watch Stephen A. Smith. I don't need to watch all these guys around the horn and stuff. It's dying. It's dying. So I'm just like,
and those big platform guys don't know as much as the smaller people that specialize on certain teams. Like,
exactly.
I don't know how many times I've seen those guys spout something off, and I'm like, did they ever even watch a game of this guy play? Like, you have no idea what they're talking about here.
Yeah, and it's actually kind of funny you said that. I'm going to basketball real quick. Shaquille O'Neal. He didn't even know who the coach was of the Detroit Pistons. And it's like J.K. Bickerstaff. He's like, I know Chauncey Billups is doing a good job. I'm like, huh? Chauncey Billups is not even where? It's not even there. So that just proves my point right
Yeah,
away.
absolutely.
So, yeah, guys, make sure you guys hit that like, hit that subscribe to the Steelers by the Lake podcast. We'll catch you. Actually, I'll catch you later on today or 6 o'clock tonight for the March Madness selection. So Nikki C's got its own show, the 3 Point Blitz. That's starting at 7 o'clock tonight. We got a lot of shows coming on the network, especially. So yeah, we'll catch you all later. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Peace.